The South China Sea is heating up, not just from the sun, but from mounting military tensions that have drawn the eyes of the world. Once a region known for its turquoise waters and bustling trade, it now bristles with warships and the ever-present threat of conflict. Today, October 11, 2025, the region is split by dueling military exercises, China and Malaysia on one side, Japan and the Philippines on the other. These simultaneous drills are not just about training, they are a clear message to rivals and allies alike. These aren't routine drills, they signal the rise of two rival security blocs, each backed by powerful partners and driven by competing visions for Southeast Asia's future. The lines are being drawn and the stakes are growing with every maneuver. Years of territorial disputes and resource competition have led to this standoff. The sea's rich fisheries, vital shipping lanes and potential oil and gas reserves have only intensified the contest for control. China's sweeping claims, marked by its 10-dash line, overlap with those of the Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Brunei. Each nation asserts its own rights, but China's expansion has been the most aggressive. Despite a 2016 international court ruling against China, Beijing has pressed on, ignoring legal challenges and escalating tensions at sea. The international community has called for restraint, but the reality on the water tells a different story. Now, warships and fighter jets have replaced diplomats as the main actors in this high-stakes drama. The balance of power is being tested not in conference rooms, but on the open sea and in the skies above. For China, joint drills with Malaysia project strength and regional influence. These exercises are designed to showcase military prowess and to reassure allies that China is a dominant force in the region. For Japan and the Philippines, their exercises are a show of unity and resolve to defend international law. They are determined to push back against unilateral actions and to protect their own sovereignty. These maneuvers are a warning. Any aggressive move will be met with a coordinated response. The message is clear. Escalation will not go unanswered, and the risks of miscalculation are higher than ever. The South China Sea, once a trade artery and fishing ground, is now a front line in a global power struggle. The livelihoods of millions and the stability of international commerce hang in the balance. The world's attention is fixed on these waters, where a single miscalculation could spark a crisis. Every maneuver, every signal, is scrutinized by governments and analysts across the globe. The stakes have never been higher. In this new theater of rivalry, the next move could shape the future of the entire region, and perhaps the world. China and Malaysia's joint drills, dubbed Peace and Friendship, are more than just symbolic gestures. These exercises are carefully choreographed, sending a message to the region and the world that both countries are willing to cooperate, even amid underlying tensions. Malaysia, despite its own disputes with Beijing over the South China Sea, chooses engagement over outright confrontation, balancing its deep economic ties with China against its security concerns and sovereignty claims. For China, these joint exercises help counter its regional bully image, offering a chance to show it can build partnerships and act as a responsible power in Asia. Malaysia, meanwhile, gains valuable training and keeps its crucial economic relationship with China stable, even as its navy sometimes faces off with Chinese vessels in disputed waters. This partnership is a delicate dance. Malaysia trains with China one day, then asserts its own maritime claims the next, walking a tightrope between cooperation and competition. Both sides focus on non-controversial issues like disaster relief and search and rescue, building trust and practical skills while sidestepping the most sensitive disputes. The alliance is pragmatic, not ideological, driven by economic realities, mutual interests, and a shared desire to avoid open conflict that could disrupt trade and prosperity. China gains legitimacy on the world stage. Malaysia avoids economic fallout and keeps its options open in a complex region. But beneath the surface, these drills are part of a much larger contest for influence in Southeast Asia, where every maneuver is closely watched by neighbors and rivals alike. In contrast, Japan and the Philippines alliance is forged by shared threats from China's maritime expansion. The Philippines faces daily incursions. Japan contends with Chinese ships near the Senkaku Islands. Their joint drills are vital. Japan provides advanced training and hardware, helping the Philippines bolster its defenses. This partnership marks a shift in Japan's post-war policy, signaling a more active security role in the region. Together, they aim to deter aggression, not provoke it, showing Beijing that any escalation will be met with unity. The exercises send a clear message. The Philippines is not alone. Japan stands ready as a committed partner, reinforcing a growing network of like-minded nations. This alliance is now a cornerstone of regional security. The rivalry isn't just theoretical. Clashes between Chinese and Philippine vessels are now routine. Chinese Coast Guard ships use water cannons and ramming tactics to block Philippine supply missions, especially at Second Thomas Shoal. These aggressive moves are calculated, part of Beijing's gray zone strategy, using non-naval forces to intimidate without triggering outright war. Filipino sailors have been injured, and even civilian vessels are targeted. Each incident ratchets up the risk of a deadly miscalculation. The Philippines faces relentless pressure, forced to defend its outposts against a much larger adversary. Every encounter is a move in a dangerous maritime chess game. China's tactics, water cannons, ramming, and blockades, reveal a clear pattern of maritime bullying. The goal: make it impossible for the Philippines to maintain its presence in contested waters. Filipino sailors and fishermen now face constant danger, their resolve tested daily. These actions violate international maritime law, yet Beijing presses on, undeterred by global condemnation. The psychological toll is immense, creating fear and uncertainty for those who depend on these waters. The world is watching, but words alone haven't changed China's behavior. That's why Manila is strengthening alliances and publicizing every incident. By rallying international support, the Philippines hopes to push back against relentless pressure. The struggle is as much about global opinion as it is about territory. The United States is the Philippines' security anchor, bound by a 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. This historic agreement, forged in the aftermath of World War II, was designed to ensure that both nations would stand together in the face of external threats. Over the decades, this alliance has only grown stronger, adapting to new challenges in the Indo-Pacific region. U.S. officials have repeatedly declared this commitment ironclad, covering attacks on Philippine forces anywhere in the South China Sea. This assurance is not just rhetoric, it's a clear message to allies and adversaries alike that the U.S. will uphold its promises, reinforcing the credibility of its security guarantees. American warships regularly challenge China's claims, with freedom of navigation operations, signaling that these waters remain open to all. These missions are not just symbolic, they are a demonstration of international law in action, asserting the right of passage for all nations. The U.S. military presence, aircraft carriers, destroyers, and joint drills serves as a powerful deterrent. These visible displays of strength are meant to reassure partners and remind potential aggressors of the risks involved in any hostile action. Annual exercises like Balikatan and Sama-Sama now include Japan, Australia, the UK, and France, weaving a tighter web of regional security. These multinational drills foster interoperability, build trust, and send a unified signal of resolve to uphold peace and stability. The U.S. strategy is multifaceted: military presence, capacity building, and diplomatic pressure. By training local forces and strengthening alliances, the U.S. aims to empower partners to defend their own sovereignty and interests. The goal is to prevent war by making the cost of aggression too high for China. Every maneuver, every exercise, is calculated to reinforce deterrence and maintain the status quo. But this also raises the risk of a direct U.S.-China confrontation. As both sides increase their presence, the margin for error narrows, and the potential for miscalculation grows. As tensions mount, the American presence is both a stabilizer and a potential flashpoint. The world watches as each patrol, each encounter, could either reinforce peace or spark crisis. The stakes are global, not just regional. The South China Sea is a vital artery for international trade, energy, and security, making its stability a matter of worldwide concern. Every maneuver is watched closely in Washington, Beijing, and beyond. Decisions made here ripple across continents, shaping the future of international relations. The balance of power in the South China Sea could tip with a single incident. A misstep or misunderstanding could have far-reaching consequences, altering the course of history. The world holds its breath, hoping that diplomacy and deterrence will prevail over conflict and chaos. The South China Sea is a global crossroads. 1/4 of all maritime trade passes through these waters. Any disruption would send shockwaves through the world economy, causing supply chain chaos and price spikes. Beneath the waves lie untapped reserves of oil and gas, fueling the competition for control. For China, dominance here is key to its naval strategy and energy security. For the U.S. and its allies, keeping these waters open is vital for military mobility and global trade. The struggle is about more than territory. It's about the future of international law versus the rule of force. The outcome will shape the global order for years to come. The South China Sea is now divided into rival blocs. The U.S.-Philippines-Japan alliance, joined by Australia and others, stands for a rules-based order. China counters by building its own partnerships, leveraging economic power to win allies like Malaysia and Cambodia. ASEAN's unity is under strain, with some members leaning west, others toward Beijing, and many caught in the middle. The era of a neutral, unified ASEAN may be ending, replaced by smaller, agile coalitions. The Japan-Philippines partnership is a model for these new, mini-lateral groups. While these alliances may respond faster to threats, they also risk deepening divisions and raising the chance of bloc-on-bloc conflict. The region's security architecture is being rebuilt in real time. The choices made now will define Southeast Asia's future. The world is watching as new lines are drawn. As 2025 draws to a close, the South China Sea remains on a knife's edge. Rival military drills are more than training, they're rehearsals for potential conflict, solidifying alliances and raising the stakes. The risk of a miscalculation is dangerously high, with every incident threatening to spiral out of control. The Philippines pursues a two-track strategy, strengthening alliances while keeping diplomatic channels with China open. The involvement of global powers adds complexity and danger. The U.S. ironclad commitment deters China, but also risks escalation. More warships, more players, more chances for mistakes. The region's stability now depends on diplomacy and clear rules of engagement. A binding code of conduct is urgently needed to prevent disaster. The rivalries here are a global problem, not just a regional one. The world waits, hoping for a peaceful course through these turbulent waters.